Maxwell from Birmingham against Dmitry Chudinov, the Russian busy fellow, having his 5th fight of 2013, coming off a big win at an open-air bike show in Volgograd. Your commentator is Alex Steedman.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest this evening, sponsored by Nemirov and Raynham Steel, is 8 3-minute rounds. Firstly, weighing in 11 stone 8, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white shorts with a record of 16 wins, 25 losses, 3 draws with 3 KOs. Please welcome from Birmingham, Maxwell. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black shorts and weighing in 12 stone 6, with an unbeaten record of 10 wins, 2 draws with 7 KOs. Please welcome from Serpukov, Russia, the Night Wolf. Please welcome Dmitry Chudinov. Ladies and gentlemen, your referee in charge of the action is Marcus McDonald of Twickenham, who now give his final instructions to both boxers. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be 8 3.
Here we go then, with an 8-rounder in the middleweight division. We've already seen Dmitry Chudinov on these shores. He had a draw against Patrick Mendy back in July. A bit of a puncher, with 4 stoppages already in his last 5 fights. Chudinov, he's heavy-handed. He can be somewhat cumbersome at times, but he's knocked out plenty along the way. Maxwell, you know all about. On a bit of a losing run, a natural light middle. He went the distance with Brian Rose in the British title. Immediately Chudinov on the front foot as his wont. He goes by the name of the Night Wolf. I tell you what, there might be a few Night Wolves running around Stratford by the end of the night. It's going to be a long one. Still, plenty of good stuff to come. Good heavy jab from Chudinov, and again working the body early. No doubt the Russians got the advantages in size and weight, and probably punch as well. And you saw the jab putting Maxwell off balance. Mendy was able to outbox and outwork Chudinov in spells when we last saw him. He's responded in kind. He stopped Jorge Navarro in 2 rounds last month. Big right hand to the body there as well, again from Chudinov. And he's pretty much down to business straight away, the Russian. Remember, Jorge Navarro went 6 rounds with Martin Murray last November, so maybe puts that performance in some sort of perspective. He can look awkward at times, but he can look quite brilliant with a punch as well. Inside the final minute of the first, a bit of a response from Maxwell. See that jab again from Chudinov. It's almost like a right hand itself. Final half minute. And meaty right to the body from Chudinov. There's oohs and ahs. It's an impressive start. Maxwell content to cover up. Good first round from Chudinov. And Chudinov does have a couple of blemishes on his record. 2 draws. He's unbeaten in 12 so far.
Dmitry. That's good work. That's good work. Just move that head for me. trying to set his own right hand, bang one over the top. He's trying to set you up. He's bum, trying to get you. Bang one over the top, you'll catch him. Carry him with that jab. That jab's working brilliant, mate. Exactly the same again. And then we'll move up after this round, right? See if he's got to offer this round, and we'll move up, right?
Okay.
Brilliant, mate. Same again, right?
Okay.
Drink now done.
I'm good.
Eyes done. You been ready? Good to go, son? Beautiful round.
Well, the Maxwell corner describing that as a beautiful round. Wouldn't want too many more of those beautiful rounds. But they're content to bide their time and then step it up. Big right hand from Chudinov early on again. It's a really business-like professional approach from Chudinov early on. And he does carry much of his power in the early stages. 3 first-round knockouts, and he's got 7 knockouts in the first 3 rounds. Not just bowling over inferior rivals too, he's taken out a few guys who've operated at a much, much higher level. Maxwell covering up again, and some ferocious hooks coming in from Chudinov. Maxwell trying to keep Chudinov at bay with the jab. Otherwise he's been content just to back off and take them on the gloves. Combinations from Chudinov, that's the one thing that was lacking against Mendy. He was quite methodical when we saw him last on Box Nation. You know, he's got the power. Last time we saw him, he didn't really look like he had the guile to go all the way. Good response from Maxwell, just starting to find his range a bit. Much busier now, this from Maxwell, as we head inside the final minute of the second. He's been in with a who's who of decent domestic fighters. Gone the distance with the likes of Brian Rose in that failed attempt at the British title. That was at light middle. He's certainly giving away a bit of weight. He's always in shape, Maxwell. He always looks pretty cut. The feeling is Chudinov certainly weighing in quite heavy tonight, more up as super middleweight than middleweight. Oh, lovely uppercut. Just the odd glimpse, the odd little cameo from Chudinov that he can slot it all together. That was a good response from Maxwell. Most of the telling blows coming from Chudinov once again.
On the inside, he's trying to hustle you. He's doing a little shot. Move that head, and after you move that head, counter back. Don't just look at him, okay? You heard him with the body shots, now he's running. So now you gotta cut that ring off. You gotta cut that ring off and stay in that body for me. He didn't like your body shot. You can use that jab, use those feints. The feints are good. Use those feints, get inside. Once you get inside, let your hands go. All right? Go to the body point.
I think at the gym, what we did, everything we did in the gym. Back, stop, screw, back right hand. You'll catch him in them shots. Don't stand the ropes too long right now. You need to get to the ropes. Beautiful, Max. Big shots in the gym. Think about it. Use them.
Into the third round then, scheduled for 8 middleweight division. The unbeaten Dmitry Chudinov in the black trunks from Russia. And by and large has been bowling them over. Actually, back in March, stopped Milton Nunes inside a single round. Gennady Golovkin had done exactly the same, but he actually had gone the distance with Matt Korobov, so puts his power and that performance in some sort of perspective. It is there for Chudinov when he puts it together. A couple of uppercuts in close. Maxwell does look comfortable enough against the bigger man. Maxwell content to be up close and just trading away, wailing away in the centre of the ring. Marcus McDonald's not really had much to do. It's getting a bit scrappy halfway through the third. Maxwell closing the distance on Chudinov, reducing the workspace. Approaching the final minute then. Good round from Maxwell. He's certainly making Chudinov work. Takes a big right hand. And another one, and he just backed off there. I wonder if that one just had an effect. Maxwell suddenly in retreat. Chudinov onto his man. You see he's looking for the big shot. There's sort of buzz and murmur in the crowd. I think there's plenty of chat now as they're wondering who's going to win the big fight still to come. Frankie Gavin in action against David Barnes, two-weight British champion. Derek Chisora with a European title, tilt and a belt he probably thinks really should be his. So unlucky, of course, not to win one out in Finland. And then Billy Joe Saunders, top of the bill against John Ryder in a battle of the unbeaten. End of the third, better round for Maxwell, good spirited response, but the telling couple of punches are coming from Chudinov, and they seem to have their mark. There's that right hand, and there was also a left in there as well. There we go, and it just forced Maxwell back onto the ropes, and they managed to see out the round thereafter. Into the fourth then, approaching halfway. And Dmitry Chudinov, the 27-year-old from Russia, actually spent quite a bit of time out in the United States. He's fought 7 times in America. This is his second visit to Britain. Looking to measure Maxwell up with the jab. He's not really landing, just pawing with that. As Maxwell fights southpaw, just trying to keep his man off. And Chudinov down to work again as he pins Maxwell down on the ropes. Maxwell happy enough with a little breather and then fires back with a few of his own. I think these are the sort of fights that tell us about Chudinov. And obviously Patrick Mendy's a very, very decent boxer and quite a stylist. He couldn't quite solve Mendy, and he just didn't really have a plan B. And tonight against a fighter like Maxwell, that this is really the sort of fight that'll tell us what sort of direction Chudinov's heading in, and he has to take a couple from Maxwell. Good response again from the Jamaican-born Brum. When the action just in close like that, he's danger of Chudinov smothering his work and not quite being able to get any purchase on the shots. Much better when he's at distance. He almost just throwing punches for the sake of it here. Gum shields come out. I think it's Maxwell's. Quick game of hunt the thimble, and then we're on. Again, there's a range of pitter-patter punches before the meaty hook to the body from Chudinov. Maybe just trying to throw some variety now. Some really heavy hooks to the body. Good response again from Maxwell. He's just done that in little bursts just to keep himself in the fight. End of the fourth, and surely another one for Chudinov.
Deep breath. I know it doesn't look like it, but you're doing your job. You're breaking them down. Nice, just like that. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't forget that body work. This guy can't take it. That's why he spit his mouthpiece out. You're getting to him, all right? Keep working behind that jab. When you go in, work behind that jab and keep feigning. Don't just walk in, okay? He's trying to smother you.
Right, I want two fucking tough rounds this round now. Right, come on, go for it like you did well born in the week. Right, go for it. Two good rounds, you can't get a chance of beating him. Right, you're behind a little bit now, but two good rounds you can beat him. Just wait for that's not. Attack. Come on, Max.
Into the fifth round. Then, good advice that from Maxwell's corner. Need to pick it up. You're a bit behind. I've got every round for Chudinov so far. Maxwell's just thrown enough punches in little bursts just to keep Chudinov off him. He's gritting his teeth now. 34 he is now, Maxwell. Born in Jamaica now, a regular Brummie. Maxwell actually does have Brian Rose on his record. He stopped Brian Rose in 6 rounds back in 2010, but that was on the back of some heartache in Rose's life, understandably, after what had happened to him in the ring previously. You know, he's a real solid performer, though, with losing efforts in defeat on points, the likes of Heffron, Ronnie Heffron, Prince Aaron, even Eric Ochieng, who's been in action earlier on tonight. Right hand just sneaking through from Maxwell. Better round. Closing the space again, and he's just stopping Chudinov from working. A minute to go. And so far, Probably have to give Maxwell the round. Maxwell put a lot into those first couple of minutes. And back comes Chudinov. Again, he's looking to the body. Nice little counter from Maxwell. Maxwell looking to counter now. There's just those little opportunities, aren't there? Goes on his bike, off for a wander. Maybe he's just seeing the punches a bit better now. Maybe some of the steam's gone out of Chudinov's work. Yeah, Maxwell just looking for those fast counters, but he takes a big right hand, and that got the oohs and ahs. Well, a couple of tailing punches at the end of the rounds from Chudinov, but prior to that, it had been the best round so far for Maxwell.
Oh, ready? Oh, he was winning that round, so he decided to line the rest. That's fucking 20 seconds. Stop it. Don't do that again. Now you're trying to line him up for that right hand, but don't, because you're just sitting there and you're not doing nothing. You're going to throw that right hand, push me back foot, mate. Throw me back foot. You're doing well. He was won that round till the last fucking 20 seconds, mate.
There's that right hand from Maxwell. He just was busier. There's a couple of lovely counters when he was on the ring, but that was one right at the end of the round that he took flush. Into the sixth round then. Chudinov starts off with a big right hand that sent the sweat and the spraying across the ring. There's a lovely left under the elbow of Maxwell. He just sort of grimaced and gave a little smile. A couple of heavy shots going in at the start of this round from Chudinov. Chudinov does have American Grady Brewer on his record, who retired after 3 earlier in the spring, but it wasn't really an effort from Brewer on that night. So bits and pieces on paper for Chudinov that look quite good. And as ever, there's only little cameos. Mind you, he'd probably be quite entertaining in a fight against another puncher. Halfway through the sixth. But Chudinov with a couple of blows right on the belt line. Maxwell just backed off again. He's starting to mark up under the left eye. To be fair to Chudinov, he's not stopped throwing hooks to the body right from the opening belt. There he goes again. And that left eye of Maxwell, just bloodshot now. He's just trying to keep Chudinov off him. There he goes again with the body work. And again, a couple of really heavy body shots from Chudinov. Maxwell, after a good 5th round, is very much on his bike. Another big left to the midsection from Chudinov. Closing seconds then of the 6th. It was all Chudinov, and arguably his biggest round yet.
Body shots going this time.
That's all he's trying to do. So if you can, don't chase him. Try to cut the ring off. Go to your right now. Cut that ring off. Make him fight you. He's just trying to survive now, all right? It's good work. It's good work. Now if you want to get him, now you got to cut that ring off. He's just trying to survive. He gets 2 rounds left. He's going to try to survive. He's going to grab, he's going to run, whatever you got to do. So cut that ring off and make him fight you. That's the way you're going to touch him. Everything else is good. You're doing good.
A couple of meaty body shots from Chudinov in that round that had Maxwell scurrying backwards. One of those, maybe on the border. Into round 7, 2 more to go. Bar 1 round, it's been all Dmitry Chudinov. He started most of the rounds with mean intent. Quite been able to sustain it all the way through. We'll find Maxwell a clean enough target. He's only ever been stopped on 3 occasions, Maxwell, in 44 fights, even although he's on something of a losing run. He's defeated in each of his last 14 now. And some of those are on the arms and gloves of Maxwell. 1 or 2 sneaking through. Nice little clipping right, that from Maxwell. There's just been a couple of rounds where he's decided, right, I'm going to push this guy back. And those are the moments when he has his best success, when there's no room for Chudinov. And Chudinov just not quite clever enough to work up close. Much better when he's got Maxwell at the end of his punches. Approaching the final minute then of this 7th. Clipping right hand again from Chudinov. And again, that left hook under the right elbow. Maxwell's looking to cover it now. Well, that's been the honey punch so far tonight for Chudinov. And Maxwell coming back. Hey, managing to push him back. Oh, they trade punches up close, and Maxwell, who stayed on the ropes. He's not an easy guy to budge, Maxwell, that's for sure. And Chudinov has thrown plenty of body shots to try and slow him down. And you see Maxwell's been struggling a bit with that mouse under his left eye for the last couple of rounds. It's getting progressively worse and worse. Little moments for Maxwell, but by and large it was Chudinov pressure all the way through.
He's running. Listen, last round. Dmitry, step to your right. Don't chase him. Step to your right and make him fight you, okay? Because if not, he's gonna run. He's just gonna run.
I feel that.
Everyone waiting, looking forward to some of the big fights still to come. Frankie Gavin just around the corner, looking to win himself a Lonsdale belt outright. Derek Chisora, the European title till Saunders Ryder in the top of the belt. All still to come. Into the final round then, Chudinov against Maxwell, and little flurries of resistance from Maxwell, as you'd absolutely expect from the tough Brummie. But by and large, Chudinov has been in control. Spells where he's had Maxwell on the run. Moments when you've thought that power was going to tell. And plenty of periods in between where you've thought he's not quite got the guile, ring craft needed to be working this guy out and maybe to move himself on to the next levels. Chudinov switching southpaw briefly. Chudinov again, when he gets up close, just throwing punches now. I think he just wants to get it over with. Approaching the final minute then with this one. Maxwell certainly producing some resistance to Dmitry Chudinov. He won most of the rounds, most of the moments in the rounds, and almost all of the telling punches. Little cheeky right hand from Maxwell again. Ooh, another one of those really heavy left hands from Chudinov, just above us here ringside. Maxwell coming up, looking for the sneaky counter. And it looks as though Chudinov, like Pinsarin, Go Chiang, Ronnie Heffron and a few others, has had to go the distance with Maxwell. One tough hombre. And it looks as though Chudinov has won all bar, I think, one off those rounds. Well, a smile from Chudinov as he goes over to Maxwell's corner. And he's one of those fights, he'd probably go down well in Germany, wouldn't he? Not quite sure what that says. But I've given him all bar one round, and I think we've got the result coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Marcus McDonnell, scores the contest 79 points to 73. The winner in the blue corner, from Serpukov, Russia, the Nightwolf, Dmitry Chudinov.
Chudinov gets it then, that fight being beamed live to Russia, a decisive winner over Maxwell, the Brummie. Now listen.